today we will talk about the structure of the brain. Okay. Brain is divided into two equal half. Okay, brain is divided into two equal half. These are known as the hemispheres. So you call it the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. Okay. The outer covering of the brain is called the cortex. The outer covering which is there in the brain is called as the cortex. Cortex is composed of neurons. So this cortex has many neurons. This cortex has many nerves. The neurons of the cortex are grey in color, so it is commonly known as grey matter. So these neurons which are there on the cortex, these nerves which are there on the cortex are grey in color, and that is why you also call cortex as the grey matter. We can distinguish among the three levels of structure from the brain, from the earliest to the most recent development structure, and the process of evolution which can be seen. So basically they are saying that the levels and the structure of the brains can be divided into three parts which have been divided after evolution, after we have become human beings. Brainstem and cerebellum, limbic system, cerebellum and cerebral cortex. You have to remember these are scientific names. You can't change it. You do not have to draw the diagram of brain because we are not a science student, but you have to remember the names, the chemicals and all these things properly. Okay. First is brain cell and cerebellum. The brain stem is an extension of spinal cord. Extension એટલે you know that your spinal cord reaches to your brain, right? So your spinal cord no extension which is there is called as brain stem. Okay. Extension એટલે છેલ્લો ભાગ. It is the center for basic life support, breathing, heartbeat, waking and sleeping. So this brain stem is responsible for your breathing, for your heartbeat, for waking up, for sleeping. Brain stem contains structures such as pons, the medulla oblongata and midbrain. So what all things are included in brain stem? Pons, medulla oblongata and midbrain. So these are the three things which are included in brain stem. The pons region connects to the cerebellum and it's involved in dreaming and waking. So your pons which is there is connected to your cerebellum and it is responsible for dreaming, for waking. The thalamus consists of an egg-shaped cluster of neurons situated just above the brain cell. So there is another structure which is called as thalamus, and this thalamus structure is located just above the brain cell. Okay, and it is egg-shaped. The thalamus is situated between the two hemispheres of the brain. It rely on the station and sends forward incoming sensory signals like visual, auditory, pain, incoming sensory signals, pressure of appropriate area in the cortex for processing. So this thalamus is located somewhere between the two hemispheres. That is the right hemisphere, left hemisphere ni vacche there is this thalamus. And what are the function of thalamus? Your visual, okay, how do you see the message from when you see it's go to your brain, right? So all this work is done by your eyes. So your visual, your auditory એટલે listening power, the fact that you feel pain, okay, the fact that there is pressure, all these things are controlled by your thalamus. The cerebellum is situated at the back of the brain. So behind the brain you have something called as cerebellum. It is associated with coordination of movements. Coordination of movements meaning when you walk, when you do left, right. So coordination of movements, controlling your posture, maintaining balance, equilibrium meaning balance. And it also stores memory of movement patterns so that we do not have to concentrate on how to walk, dance, ride or ride a bicycle. So basically it stores all the memory of your movements. That is why you don't have to remember how to walk. Once you have learned how to walk, you know how to walk, right? So that memory is stored in your cerebellum, and that is why people who walk, dance, ride a cycle, once you learn it, you have learned it. You will never forget it. So this was your brainstem and cerebellum. Next is your limbic system. The limbic system resembles the form of an ancient mammalian brain found in all mammals. So this limbic system looks like a brain which is found in mammals. Mammals એટલે those animals જે લોકો પોતાના છોકરાઓને પેટમાંથી જન્મે અને 1 2 3 4 બાળક નીકળે, લાઈક cow is a mammal, dogs are mammals. Okay, so the brain, this limbic system looks like a brain of a animal which are mammals. Okay, sometimes it is called an old brain. Okay, obviously sometimes it's called as old brain. The brain stem and cerebellum are found in vertebrates, but only mammals and reptiles have limbic system. So what they are saying that only animals who are mammals and only reptiles એટલે જે પાણીમાં રહેતા જનાવર હોય, like crocodiles are your reptiles. So only those people have limbic system, and we human beings have limbic system. Okay, it helps in maintaining internal homeostasis. Homeostasis એટલે temperature in your body is regulated by this limbic system. Okay, it regulates body temperature, blood pressure, blood sugar. All these things are maintained and are balanced by your limbic system. The limbic system also coordinates the message being sent to and about the cortex. So it also keeps a track of messages that are passed from cortex. So messages which are passed from cortex, messages that come from cortex, messages which are meant for cortex, all this passing on and sending off of messages is done by limbic system. The limbic system has close links with hypothalamus and appears to impose extra cover over some of the instinctive and emotional responses. So this limbic system is somewhere connected to something called as hypothalamus, and this limbic system also manages your emotions. It also controls your emotions. Okay, and all these things are controlled by hypothalamus, which is in some way linked to the limbic system. The fact that you feel hungry is also a message which is given by hypothalamus. Okay, and this hypothalamus is also a part of limbic system. It is also connected to limbic system. Okay, limbic system comprises of hippocampus, amygdala and hypothalamus. So what all things are included in limbic system? Hippocampus, amygdala and hypothalamus. The largest limbic system structure, the hippocampus, plays an important role in memory. So hippocampus, which is there in the limbic system, plays a very important role in something which you called as memory, especially long term storage of information, especially those information that has to be stored in the brain for the longest period of time. The amygdala has an important role in aggression. Aggression એટલે બાજવું, ગુસ્સો, that is called aggression. So amygdala plays a very important role in aggression. It is also involved in memory, emotions and certain basic motivation. Motivation meaning your ability to do work. Okay, sometimes you feel, I don't feel like doing my homework today, and sometimes you're like, today I am going to finish my homework, today I'll do this. That is called as motivation. Okay, so your amygdala is responsible for all these things. Hypothalamus is one of the smallest structures which is there in the brain, but plays a very important role in our behavior. So hypothalamus is a structure which is very, very small little structure which is there in our brain, and which plays a very, very important role in our behavior. It regulates the physiological process involved in emotion and motivated behavior, eating, drinking, temperature regulation and sexual arousal. So it plays many psychological role. Especially it plays a major role in your emotions, your behavior which is motivated in eating, drinking, temperature, your sexual arousal. Okay, that you are sexually excited, you feel like having sex. The hypothalamus also regulates the activities of endocrine system. Endocrine system is in your stomach. It also regulates the activity of your endocrine system. It basically maintains homeostasis in the body. Homeostasis એટલે maintains the temperature, controls the temperature in your body. Now the third part is the cerebellum and cerebral cortex. The cerebrum or the cerebral cortex regulates higher level of cognitive and emotional functions. So higher level of brain functions, higher level of emotional functions are controlled by your cerebellum and cerebral cortex. Without the cortex, there can be no planning, no complex motor movements, no perception, no speech. So if you don't have cortex, you can't do planning, you cannot understand complex problems, you will never be able to have motor movements, okay, complex motor movements, at least skipping, walking, running, those are your motor movements, okay, movements of your legs, movements of your hands, that won't be there. Your perception meaning how you see things, your speech will not happen if there is damage in cortex, or let's say if your cortex is not developed, or let's say you don't have a cortex, okay. Cerebrum makes 2/3 of the total mass of human brain. So major biggest part in your brain is your cerebrum and cerebral cortex, because it occupies 2/3 of the total brain in your head. The cortex is only 4 mm thick mass. So cortex is only 4 mm thick mass. It covers the entire surface of the brain. So entire surface of the brain is covered with cortex. It contains neurons, neural nets and bundle of axons. So it has neurons, okay, it has bundle of axons. Axons are also like kind of nerves only, okay, and it has many small nets of nerves which are there. All these things are there in the cortex. All this makes it possible for us to perform and organize actions and create images, symbols, association, memory, wishes and fantasies. So because of this cortex, because of the veins, because of the nerves which are there on the cortex, you are able to perform various actions, you are able to understand certain images, you are able to understand certain symbols, you are able to associate things. Associate things એટલે હું આ કરીશ તો આ થશે, અગર આ કરીશ તો આ થશે. That is called association. It is related to your memory, your wishes, things that you dream of, your fantasies and all those things. The cerebrum is divided into two nearly symmetrical halves. Now your cerebrum is also divided into two parts. The cerebral hemisphere. These two cerebral hemispheres mediate different cognitive and emotional functions. So these cerebrals, which are divided into two parts, both of them have different cognitive functions and emotional functions. Cognitive એટલે brain functions and emotional એટલે emotional functions. Though the two hemispheres may appear identical to look at, but in humans, one hemisphere is usually dominant. In most of the people, it may appear, but in humans, one hemisphere is usually dominant. In most people, the left hemisphere dominates, which controls the right side of the body. So what they are saying is, though both the hemisphere, they are divided and they look the same, but your one hemisphere is more active than the other hemisphere. And in most of the people, your left hemisphere is more active, which controls your movement of the right body. Okay, if you see, your right side of the body is more active, right? That is because our left hemisphere is more dominant, more powerful than the right hemisphere. Okay, and your left hemisphere controls the body movements of the right hand side of your body. Okay, opposite, cross. Further, some functions are specific to one hemisphere. Now every hemisphere has its functions. Okay, for example, speech is usually controlled by left hemisphere. Your speech is usually controlled by your left hemisphere. These two hemispheres are connected by wide bundle of mediating axons called as corpus callosum. So these two hemispheres, they are connected through axons, or you call it neurons, and these axons are called as corpus callosum. The outer layer of cerebrum cortex is grey because it is made up of cell bodies, unlimed fibers of billions of neurons. So outer part of this cerebral thing is grey in color. I told you, the grey matter. Okay, and why? Because it is grey in color based on different neurons, based on different nerves. The inner part of cerebrum is white. So outer part is grey, inside it is white in color, which is made up of very large myelinated fibers. So fiber je hoy enu banelu છે અંદરની side. The cortex is rigged in a safe inside a skull. So your cortex is inside, you call it a skull. Bheja. Okay, you call it bheja, remember? So your cortex is protected inside this thing called skull. If cortex were unfolded, it will be several times larger in size. So what they are saying is cortex is folded, and if you open that cortex, if you unfold that cortex, it will be very big. Okay, so that is your cerebellum and cerebral cortex. Next we will talk about is cortical lobes. Neuroscientists, for ease of reference and handling, have divided and mapped each hemisphere. So each hemisphere is mapped, each hemisphere is divided into different parts. Each hemisphere is divided vertically and horizontally. So each of your hemisphere in your brain is divided vertically, that is straight ways, and horizontally, that is this way. The division by horizontal groove is called lateral sulcus or fissure of Seiwells. So the ones which are divided horizontally, જે આડા છે, okay, what name is given to them? Lateral sulcus or fissure of Seiwells. The vertical ones are called central sulcus or fissure of Rolando. So the vertical ones, the सीधा ones, are called what? Central sulcus or fissure of Rolando. This division is roughly defined for atomic region called lobes. Now these divisions have different lobes inside. Okay, each of these lobes contains structures that serve different functions. Now each of these lobes have different structures inside, and these structures also have different functions. Okay, the 4 lobes which are given over here, we will do its function. First is the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is involved in motor control and cognitive activities. Motor એટલે your hand movements, your finger movements, your leg movements. So frontal lobe controls that and all your cognitive, your thinking, memory, your brain activities. It is concerned with conscious process such as thinking, planning and decision making. So your thinking, your planning, making decisions are all dependent on frontal lobe. Accidental damage of frontal lobe can be devastating effect on human behavior and personality. So let's say if you have an accident and your frontal lobe gets damaged, then it will affect your behavior, it will affect your personality development. Next is parental lobe. The parental lobe is located towards the top of the head. So top of the head is your parental lobe. Okay, it controls incoming sensory information. So information from your sense organs. Sense organs એટલે eyes, nose, ears, mouth, finger. So all these ka sense organs ni informations is given to the parental lobe. The motor and premotor centers of the lobe control the muscular movements. So all your movements of the muscle of your hand, legs are controlled by the parental lobe. Occipital lobe. Occipital lobe at the back of the head is the major destination for visual information. So it is back of the head, and all your visual information, all the information carried by your eyes are controlled by the occipital lobe. It controls the visual center and is directly related to retina. So your retina of your eyes is directly sending messages to your occipital lobe. Temporal lobe. The temporal lobe at the side of each cerebral hemisphere processes speech and auditory information. So now your temporal lobe is on the both side of the cerebral hemisphere. It controls your speech, it controls your auditory information, that is information from the ears. However, it must be noted that no lobe controls specific behavior alone. So it's not like one lobe is only handling one information. No, it's the mix of all the lobes working together. For example, when you hear a telephone bell, you hear it with your temporal lobe. Visually locate the telephone instrument in your. Okay, so what they are saying, that here they have given you an example. Let's say you hear a telephone ring. So that then your temporal lobe becomes active because that is associated with your auditory information. Then you visually try to find the telephone. Through your eyes you try to find the information of where the phone is. You locate the phone. Now that is related to your occipital lobe. The grabs and handle the receiver with the help of your parental lobe. So because your parental lobe is active, you are able to pick up the phone and put it in your ears. And you engage in thoughtful conversation through the process of frontal lobe. Then you start talking to the person, and that is how your occupational lobe becomes, that is how your frontal lobe becomes active, because your frontal lobe is associated with speech and thinking. So when you pick up the phone, when you talk, what brain type, which part of the brain becomes active? Your frontal lobe. Many areas of the brain work together to achieve congruence process of the complex behavior. So what they are saying, that your brain works in coordination to each other in order for you to understand different complex behaviors, and in order for you to understand different types of behaviors.